Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and the single biggest question I've been asked in the last 24 hours by people has been about Maria Sharapova, the Russian tennis player who just got busted for doping. Let's talk about that briefly for a minute, because this one's a little more complex than a lot of these doping stories. We have a case of she's been prescribed a drug that is a known endurance increaser. It is for cardiovascular issues, and it goes by a couple different names. You guys can look all this up later. There's too many names involved for me to remember all of them. But apparently it is generally a short-term drug that doctors only prescribe for a few weeks, but her family doctor has been prescribing it to her for a decade. WADA recently added it to a banned list under a different name than the Russians are normally using it under, so she claims she was unaware that she was on a banned substance. And she's not the only Russian athlete who's been popped for this in the last week. Apparently another Russian athlete has also been popped for the exact same drug. Now, the issue we get into here is that WADA and other agencies are not going to accept the fact that you don't know something's on the banned list once they produce it. They expect athletes to know these things. They expect you to know what's in any product that you buy. So even if there's something not on the label, they warn you to be careful of supplements. Make sure things have been independently tested and are WADA approved before you even take a supplement, due to companies oftentimes putting things that are not on the label into the product. But what this comes down to is that a lot of athletes and doctors and other people know that certain medications can yield performance-enhancing benefits many years before WADA catches on. WADA catches it oftentimes late in the game. So is it reasonable to assume that she probably knew this normal short-term drug actually did have these effects because she stayed on it for 10 years and told her doctor to keep her on it? It might be reasonable to speculate, yes. Do we know for certain that's what happened? No. But we do know that many athletes, and the Russians tend to be very advanced at this, know oftentimes for a decade that a drug produces a performance-enhancing benefit before WADA gets around to proving it, suspecting it does, develops a test, bans it, all of that. This goes on for a long time. I mean, even MGF, we've known for 5 or 6 years that it had anabolic properties found in a lab in people before WADA actually banned it, I think 2 years ago, and WADA still hasn't been able to develop a test for it yet. So we've known for 5 years it was anabolic. WADA banned it 2 years after knowing it for 5 years and still hasn't got a test developed for it. They kind of jumped the gun on that one. So this is one they finally decided after a decade to ban. So you're probably going to see a lot of athletes who don't get the memo because they've been on this substance for its performance-enhancing benefits, even though it's a prescription drug, for many years. So I think you're going to see a few more cases of it. This is really nothing new in that regard, other than generally the athletes catch it and they find a way to beat the test, or they come off of it and find other things to take. This is just the nature of sports, so that's my take on it. But that's really all I have to say on that today. If you enjoyed this video or you like my work in general, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would click like down below. So thank you if you do so. So I hope this has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.